Okay, folks, let's see what Santa Claus brought us today. Okay, got a package from Amazon. I got a feeling I know what it is too. We'll find out in a second. It's what I think it is. I can sure use this. I got a tree out there just waiting for me to be cut down. Here we go. There it is. All right. Here's what I've been looking forward to. Okay, put that aside. All right. Let's get this thing out of the box real quick and see what it looks like. Men are in their tools, boy. We can't wait to get at them. Just like women are in their clothing. All right. Yeah, yes, this is the top. Yeah. Okay. All right. Get this thing. I got a job waiting for me tomorrow to use this baby on. There she is. Nice, huh? All right, let's get it out. Oh, right, I'm going to enjoy this. Whew, sharp. All right. Okay. Everything, got my 2 batteries. I'm going to get them all charged up tonight. Tomorrow morning, when it's still cool, I'm going to get out there and cut down at least one little, one bush out there that died on me. It's a big bush. So I'm going to get rid of that. So that will be his first job. So anyway, tomorrow morning we'll get that. All right, let's get this job done. Let's see if this thing works. All right. As you can see, it kind of bogs down. It gets stuck a little bit. Doesn't have the power that my other saw has. The one that plugs in has a lot more power than this one. You can't push this one. If you just let it ride, it seems to work pretty good. Okay, here's a pretty big trunk. Let's see what happens here. I'll just let it cut. I'm not going to push it. See what happens. Okay, I wouldn't recommend this for doing any real serious tree trimming or real serious log cutting, but for something you can grab up, pick up in a hurry, seems to work just fine. I did notice something. It doesn't have a self oiler, so to keep this thing lubricated, you're going to have to
apply oil to it to keep them wearing out so quick, because the chain will wear off quickly on chainsaws if they're not oiled. Okay, we cut one more here, then we're going to cut the video for now. All right. Okay. All right. For now, I'm going to leave this, and I'll come back later and finish it. But I think you've seen enough that you can determine whether this is what you need or not. Like I said, it'd be great for light jobs, but anything heavy, you better spend a little bit more and get a real chainsaw, one that can got some ump to it. And there's a couple other things I don't like. There's no safety lockout on the switch. So if someone grabs the chainsaw and takes a look at it and they touch that trigger, it's going to come right on. I don't like that one bit. So anyway, it's for what it is. Lightweight chainsaws you can pick up and go out and trim your tree with, or trim a bush with, or cut a bush down. It works fine, but it's not something you're going to do any serious work with. Okay, folks, we've seen the saw in action. Okay, I got a couple of notes I made, and we'll look at those in a second. But when I opened the saw up to check out, actually I said, hey, they got tools. Move the chain or for adjustment. It's fine. It works. It's nice, sturdy. It works fine. The little screwdriver they included, this is junk. You might just throw that away. But anyway, okay. There's probably about 4 or 5 things I really don't like about the saw. Okay, and one of the main things is I don't like the fact that it doesn't have a safety lockout for the switch. There's nothing there to keep that saw from going on. If somebody grabs that saw and their finger touches that trigger, they're going to turn it on. So that is not good. It's not good at all. So they get a negative point right there. Then the other thing, well, when the saw was delivered, it's not a big deal, but the chain was a little too tight. The saw had just barely was able to just start it, because the chain was too snug. So I loosened that up a little bit, and that's okay. And now the other thing, it bogs down. It's I know it's not meant to go out and cut down trees or anything like that, but it does seem to bog down awful easily, and it stopped on me a couple of times. And every other saw I've ever had, I've had electric saws before, and the type you plug in, and they got plenty of they cut through anything. But this saw, you got to let it just ride. You can't push it at all. If you let it just ease its way through, don't push it, it seems to cut through okay. But forget it for any heavy cutting. It isn't going to cut the job. It isn't going to do the job. Okay, get yourself a bigger saw, maybe one that you have to use an extension cord with. But this thing is not going to cut it for any serious type work. Then there's the another thing it lacks. It does not have a second handle, so you can grab the saw with one hand, turn it on with, and then another handle just to stabilize it and make it a little safer to use. Okay? It doesn't have it. If you notice, when I was using the saw, I was like, okay, where am I going to put my left hand? I know where to put it, and so I just grabbed the bottom of the saw and and stabilized it the best I could. And it definitely should have a second handle to stabilize it. I rarely ever give anything a bad rating. Usually I'm careful what I order, and but I can't give the saw a good rating. It lacks some important things it needs, and especially that safety lockout for the trigger for the switch. You really should have a safety lockout there. It's just just to protect your kids and
protect yourself or protect a friend that walks over and grabs the saw and picks it up and cuts his finger off, you know. So anyway, I can't see rating it any higher than 3, and I don't know, I feel sorry for the manufacturer, but that's it. At 3 is about all it's gonna muster up, and I think I'm being generous right there. And so anyway, that's my opinion, and I can't really recommend the saw. Okay, oh, folks, there is one more thing I want to mention, and every saw I've ever owned has always had an oiler to keep this chain lubricated so it'll last longer. And this one does not have any kind of an oiler at all, whether it be just a manual button you push or an automatic oiler. It doesn't have one. So that's another negative. And you can always, you know, take a brush with some grease or oil, and you can pour, you know, take an oil can and squirt some oil on it. You can do that. I've done it. But generally, a saw generally always comes with a built-in oiler, and it's a necessity on chainsaws. Okay, with that said, I'm done. See you next time.